You think you are being kind. You think your open heart is a virtue. But look at your hands. They are bleeding. Look at your energy. It is entirely bankrupt. Every single time someone walks into your life with a tragic story, you throw yourself into their burning house to save them. You listen to their complaints for hours. You absorb their toxic anxiety. You feel their pain until your own chest tightens. And what do they do after you give them your soul? They use you as an emotional doormat. They heal their wounds using your vitality, and then they walk away, leaving you drained, broken, and shivering in the dark. That is not kindness. That is a lack of boundaries. That is emotional suicide. The world has trained you to believe that empathy must be blind, total, and reckless. They taught you that to be a good man, you must bleed for everyone who scratches themselves. The ancient Stoics knew better. They didn't view empathy as a sentimental weakness. They viewed it as a double-edged sword. If you do not control it, it will destroy you. The weak react with blind emotion. The strong operate with calculated empathy. Today, you will learn how to look at human suffering without letting it drag you into the abyss. You will learn how to understand people completely, without letting them possess you. Turn off the noise. Guard your mind. It is time to reclaim the sovereign territory of your soul. Let's speak honestly about the dark nights you never share on social media. You are exhausted, not because your work is too heavy or your body is too tired. You are exhausted because you are carrying the psychological weight of people who refuse to save themselves. You have become the free therapist for your friend group, the permanent safety net for an unstable partner, the quiet sponge for a family member's endless bitter complaints. Every time your phone lights up with a text, your stomach drops. You don't want to answer. Your spirit is screaming for isolation. But a toxic voice inside your head whispers, "If I don't help them, I am a bad person." You are addicted to validation disguised as compassion. You over-explain your boundaries because you are terrified of being called cold. You justify your absence because you cannot bear the thought of someone being disappointed in you. And look at the return on your investment. When you were drowning in your own failures, when your business collapsed, when your heart was shattered into pieces, where were they? They were completely absent. Or worse, they gave you shallow advice and went back to talking about themselves. You gave away the rarest currency you own, your mental peace, for crumbs of temporary appreciation. You allowed manipulators to read your empathy like a roadmap of your weaknesses. They know exactly which button to press, which tear to drop, and which guilt trip to deploy to make you submit. You have built a prison out of your own open heart, and you are sitting inside the cell, holding the key, wondering why the room feels so cold. Stop lying to yourself. It is time to look at reality with clean, freezing eyes. No one is coming to save them, and you cannot play God in the lives of broken people. The most brutal truth about human nature is this: many people do not actually want solutions. They want an audience for their tragedy. They love their victimhood because it excuses their laziness, their lack of discipline, and their total failure to take responsibility for their choices. When you offer them your undivided empathy, you are not helping them grow. You are feeding their addiction. You are enabling their stagnation. You are telling them that it is completely acceptable to stay weak because you will always be there to absorb the consequences of their bad choices. The older you grow, the more you must accept a cold reality. You only have enough energy to protect a few things that truly matter: yourself, your purpose, and the people willing to bleed alongside you. The crowd outside? They are an emotional black hole. If you do not guard the perimeter of your mind, they will suck you dry until you have nothing left to give to your own purpose. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his private journal, compiled in the document known as Meditations, that human beings exist for the sake of one another. But he never said you must let them destroy your internal balance. He knew that a man without emotional sovereignty is not a man. He is a puppet. He is a slave to the moods of others. Intense tone. If your empathy is costing you your sanity, it is no longer a virtue. It is a defect. It is your ego trying to feel important by fixing things that were never yours to fix. Let us travel back to the year 169 AD. The Roman Empire is facing total collapse. The Antonine Plague is tearing through Rome, piling corpses in the streets. On the northern borders, the Germanic tribes have crossed the Danube, slaughtering Roman legions. Marcus Aurelius steps into the mud of the front lines. Every day, he is surrounded by unimaginable human suffering. He hears the screams of dying soldiers. He watches his closest generals bleed out. He receives letters from Rome describing the agony of his citizens. If he had used regular empathy, he would have collapsed from grief in 3 days. He would have spent his nights weeping for the injustice of the world. But he chose a different weapon. He chose calculated empathy. He understood the pain of his soldiers. He felt the gravity of his empire's loss. But he built an iron wall inside his mind, what he called the inner citadel. He looked at the tragedy, processed it through the lens of cold logic, and asked one singular question. What is within my control right now? He could not stop the disease. He could not bring back the dead. But he could command the army. He could strategize the next movement. He could remain steady so his men wouldn't panic. To practice calculated empathy in the modern world, you must execute 3 non-negotiable protocols. Protocol 1, the 3-second cognitive intercept. When someone approaches you with emotional chaos, do not mirror their energy immediately. Stop. Count 3, 2, 1 in your mind. Keep your jaw relaxed. Keep your breathing deep. Listen to their words as if you are a doctor analyzing an illness, not a victim experiencing it. You see their pain, but you do not own it. Protocol 2, the dichotomy of sympathy. Clearly define your boundaries. You can offer a person your ears, but never your peace. You can give them strategic advice, but never your time if they refuse to act on it. If they complain about the same problem twice without implementing the solution you gave them, their access is permanently revoked. Protocol 3, execution in the dark. Stop seeking the reputation of being the nice guy. When you say no to an emotional leech, do not over-explain. Do not write long paragraphs to justify why you are busy. Say, I cannot assist you with this right now. Let the silence sit. Let them think you are cold. Their judgment of your character is completely outside your control. Your only duty is to maintain your own fortress. Do you hear that? The background music has died completely. There is nothing left but the raw, steady beat of your own heart. Look out the window. Look at the city night. Thousands of people are running around right now, desperately chasing attention, screaming for someone to feel sorry for them, drowning in a sea of unchecked emotions. But you are not one of them. Not anymore. Everything you have endured up to this moment, the betrayals, the psychological exhaustion, the moments where you felt used and discarded, look back at them. They are your teachers. They are the brutal, unyielding stone that fate used to sharpen your discernment. The weak see suffering, and they lose their minds. The Stoic sees suffering, calculates the truth, and remains an immovable monument of strength. You do not owe the world your destruction. You do not owe anyone your sanity. The greatest gift you can give to the people around you is not a soft shoulder to cry on, but the example of a man who cannot be shaken by the storm. The pain of holding up an emotional wall, or the pain of letting your soul be looted. Both require effort. But the wall builds a king, while the looters will leave you empty until you are nothing but an ash heap of wasted potential. The choice belongs to your breath, your focus, right in this exact second. Stop apologizing for protecting your light. Train your heart to be a cold mirror, reflecting back their chaos, keeping none of it inside. Close the phone. Step into the quiet room. There is no need for grand declarations. No need to prove you have changed. Let them find out through the unbreakable composure of your presence. Master the silence of power. Execute your purpose in the dark. And walk like a man who rules his own mind. If you have made it to the final moments of this video, you no longer belong to the shallow crowd outside. You belong to the rare few who choose to confront the brutal truth in order to rebuild themselves from the ruins of emotion. Subscribe to the channel Stoic Rise to turn the training of your mind into an iron discipline every single day. Tonight, leave a comment with a single word: fortress. This is not a meaningless interaction for an algorithm, but a decree witnessed by your own conscience, a declaration that from this moment forward, your mind will be a citadel that no external chaos can breach. Stay silent and execute.